wonderful place to come to. It feels like family. Every time I come here, I go home totally energized and ready to do battle with whatever comes next. And battles we all know that. There's a quote Albert Einstein said one time back. He said, with fame, I become more and more stupid, which of course is a very common phenomenon. And I always thought, what did he mean by that? Until I got pepper sprayed and famous, right? All of a sudden now, I am not with it. I can't do the research I used to do. I go out there and I have to really work at the issues because my time is not my own. Excuse me. But I am enjoying what I'm doing. I'm enjoying meeting people, and especially I like to come home here, where I've been coming to for a long time. So this is like home and family, and thank you for coming. We have our work cut out for you. The issues are so overwhelming that every day is a new thing jumping up at us that we have to solve. If it's not the atomic problems, it's the coal trains, the fracking, the elections, when we have very few choices, very limited. Our whole world is contaminated with the results of our nuclear science and nuclear plants all over, and they have no way to store any of the waste. And when you talk to your legislature and find out if they have a plan, they will tell you we just don't have the money to do away or to store all the hazardous waste that we produce, not for only weapons, but also for energy. So we have to really start talking to not only the people who are now elected, but start for next year, for the next election, to lay the groundwork to go and actually have ourselves a revolution. We cannot do anything less. We have, for years, so many people have gone out and have told people how bad the nuclear problems are. We have Admiral Rickover, and we have all the guys like Dr. Caldecott, who is the most knowledgeable person about nuclear waste of anybody. And Bruce Gagnon has spoken, and all these people know what the problems are, but somehow we have not branched out far enough into the communities to bring the message to all the people who will be affected, who right now, I would hazard a guess that 50% of the people in Seattle have no clue what is going on out here and what damage can be done if there is an accident or if somebody pushes the wrong button at one time. So this is one thing we can do, and I know that you're going to write letters this afternoon, so I want to read you a letter I wrote. Because they want to now, they want to make a national monument for Hanford, Oak Ridge, and Los Alamos. And so I wrote to the advisory committee on historic preservation, and this is the letter I wrote to them, and I think many people should write to them and also demand that this monument really brings the true picture of what nuclear waste is all about. Here's what I wrote. And I will give you the address of them, and I think they need to get a whole lot of input into their plan. Dear members of the board, if you want to have citizen volunteers to work with you on the preservation of the 3 sites Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Hanford, Washington, and Los Alamos, New Mexico. I would be very happy to share ideas I have for making those sites truly memorable for future generations. Here are my suggestions for how to design the proposed national monuments. Do not decorate the stark exterior of the reactors. Keep the alarm systems turned on. Play the same type of music they play at Chernobyl. Exhibit any and all pictures you can find of the aftermath of our atomic bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Exhibit any and all pictures and stories from the Chernobyl disaster and the fallout consequences all over Europe. Exhibit the pictures and stories of the accidents like what they had at 3 Mile Island and others. Decorate the walls with charts showing the actual cost of nuclear energy and weapon systems as compared to conventional methods of generating energy or providing weapon systems. These monuments have to be truthful, just as the memorials in Auschwitz, Buchenwald, or the Holocaust Memorial are truthful. Only if the public really comes face to face with the deadly impact our nuclear strategy has had globally might we be able to grow beyond relying on nuclear weapons and energy. It is up to the public to stand up and to fight for this, and we have to go reach out to more people than just our little family here. We have to get together with all the other nuclear groups worldwide who are fighting in Ireland and Scotland, in Germany, in Japan. And only if we can all unite can we really make a difference in this world. And now that I've been very serious, and people ask me to tell them how I come to this fork in my road. I grew up in Austria during the war. I listened to Radio Free America, I listened to Radio Free Europe, I listened to the Armed Forces Radio, and I always heard the propaganda, and I heard it from both sides. I heard it from the German side, which, of course, there's only one newspaper, and that was run by liberals. So that all the news in the media were the same. And I also heard the other side, how America was winning and how America was going to help us if we just stand up against Hitler. I've since then figured out that the truth was somewhere in the middle. But you didn't hear it, and we didn't hear it. And we have to make sure that people like Mike and the other people who bring the news of what is going on every day on our computers, that we keep them alive and working for us, and that we make the news accessible to all the people who really need to hear what we're doing here. Now, it's not all been just terrible news in my life. I've had a lot of fun. Some of the stuff I've been doing kind of backfired. But in the meantime, even some of the bad things that happened, like the pepper spray, people said to me, "Oh my goodness, that is terrible." I said, "No," because right after I got the pepper spray, I said to the two guys who helped me, I said, "We did it. We got ourselves on the map." And I laughed. And they said, "Well, that's wonderful. I'm so glad you're not feeling sick or something." And that's what we need to do. We need to keep a little sense of humor when all this goes on. Like when I see those cops standing with their bicycles, every time we stand, Women in Black, on our Thursday vigil, they usually stand there, and I don't know why they would guard us. We're all so dangerous. But I like to smile at them. And that's the best revenge. And so the other day, they detailed 3 people for a whole hour to stand across the street from us and guard us from 5 to 6. And when we left, they left. And I finally walked over and I said, it's a great use of your resources. And so those are the things that are kind of fun when you do them. And some of the things, like I don't know if you've seen the shell fail thing where I got sprayed again. And I think the reason I got chosen for that role was I had experience. So I got sprayed with Pepsi Cola all over the place by a shell drilling rig. And that one immediately went haywire too. So it's fun when people call you up and say, would you come with us? We're doing a Yes Man program on drilling in the Arctic. Those things, I would have never thought I'd be anywhere near that. So anyway, the thing that I really want you to write or tell everybody is, each one, teach one, or as our friend Jackie said, take one step out of your comfort zone if you want to make a difference. This is the best thing anybody has ever told me, and I will never forgive Jackie for saying that. And the other day I had a phone call from a man who was one of the negotiators when the Occupy Seattle people lived up at the Seattle Central Community College, and they asked him to go in and negotiate with the college to let the students stay for over the weekend. And he called me right afterwards and he said, you'd be proud of me. I did 5 steps out of my comfort zone. So that's something everybody can do. And people should need to be shy, because when you speak out, it's amazing how everybody responds. On the buses, people ask me, what are you doing now? And I have my button on, whatever button I'm doing. And I always get somebody asking me, and then pretty soon they want to know whom we were supposed to vote for. And Wednesday morning in my building, our community asked me to come down and tell them whom to vote for, and they all came with their ballots. And they all filled the ballots out the way I asked them. So, that's just a little side service. Now, I always preface my political education with, I'm not perfect, and I help people get elected who afterwards I said, what in the world happened to you? But you can't win them all. So you just keep on trying. We got a mayor right now. I would like to go to small claims court and get my money back. But I need a good lawyer to tell me whether I can do that. But I think that would be one of the good things to do, is if we all went up and asked for our money back. And I want to now close this, because you've got other things to do, with a great quote from Hyman Rickover. I think the human race is going to wreck itself, and it is important that we get control of this horrible force and try to eliminate it. I do not believe that nuclear power is worth it if it creates radiation. Admiral Hyman Rickover. Truer words were never spoken. Thank you very much for your attention.